Friends, let's immerse ourselves in the era of the 9th century, specifically the year 871, a time when every stone in England was soaked with blood and the desire for unity. It was a time when kings and leaders fought for power over fragmented kingdoms. Almost every Anglo-Saxon king dreamed of being the supreme ruler of all the land. However, maintaining power over others was a real challenge. And then enters Alfred the Great, the future king of Wessex, who became a shining beacon in the darkness of war and discord. During those times, the Vikings posed a great challenge to England, bold sailors and warriors from Scandinavia who descended upon the island, leaving behind traces of destruction and chaos. The Vikings not only plundered and ravaged the shores, but also established their settlements on the territory of England, threatening stability and order. It was in the year 871 that a series of battles between the Anglo-Saxons and the Vikings began, known as the Danish invasion. These events proved decisive for the future of England. Let's examine several key battles that occurred during the Danish invasion of England. The first of these is the Battle of Reading, which took place in January of the year 871. It was a serious clash between the Anglo-Saxons and the Vikings. Anglo-Saxon forces, led by King Ethelred of Wessex and his brother Alfred the Great, faced off against the Danish Vikings near the town of Reading. King Ethelred and his brother Alfred understood that it was time to unite their forces and resist the Vikings, who posed a serious threat to their kingdom. The Vikings, perhaps seeking territorial conquest and plunder, while the Anglo-Saxons needed to stop them from advancing into Wessex. Both sides fought with immense fury and determination. Anglo-Saxon warriors fought for their land, their families, and their freedom, while the Vikings, known for their cruelty and audacity, sought victory and plunder. The battle lasted for several hours, and ultimately victory went to the Anglo-Saxons. Although both sides suffered significant losses, the Anglo-Saxons managed to repel the Viking attack and maintain control over their territory. The Battle of Reading was a significant event in England's history, as it marked the first step of the Anglo-Saxons towards unity and resistance against the Vikings. The Anglo-Saxon victory in this battle lifted their spirits and inspired them to fight for their independence and freedom. Another significant engagement was the Battle of Ashdown, which occurred in May of the year 871. In this clash, Anglo-Saxon forces, led by King Ethelred of Wessex and his brother Alfred the Great, confronted the Danish Vikings under the leadership of Guthrum. The battle took place in the vicinity of Ashdown, where the Anglo-Saxons had to repel the Viking attack aimed at strengthening their control in this region. Both sides prepared for the battle with particular thoroughness, understanding the importance of the outcome of this battle for the future events in the region. The battle unfolded in a bloody and brutal atmosphere, saturated with violence. Both sides invested immense passion and determination into it. The Anglo-Saxon forces sought to hold their positions, exerting every effort to prevent the Vikings from breaking through. Meanwhile, the Vikings, utilizing their strength and tactical prowess, aimed to break through the Anglo-Saxon defense. Although the Battle of Ashdown ended without a clear victory for either side, the Anglo-Saxons managed to hold their ground and prevent the Vikings from penetrating deeper into their territory. This confrontation demonstrated the resolve of the Anglo-Saxons to defend their lands and freedom from external invaders. This battle marked an important stage in the struggle for England's independence from the Vikings and the consolidation of unity among the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. It filled the Anglo-Saxons with determination and gave them confidence that they were capable of resisting enemies and defending their lands and people. The Battle of Reading was a significant event in England's history, as it marked the first step of the Anglo-Saxons towards unity and resistance against the Vikings. The Anglo-Saxon victory in this battle lifted their spirits and inspired them to fight for their independence and freedom. The third key battle was the Battle of Eaching, which took place in June of the year 871. Here, the Vikings under the command of Guthrum once again engaged in battle with the Anglo-Saxons. In this confrontation, Anglo-Saxon forces, once again under the command of King Ethelred and his brother Alfred, clashed with the Danish Vikings led by Guthrum. The battle unfolded near the area known as Eaching, where both sides sought to achieve a decisive victory. The Vikings, fortified in their positions and leveraging their numerical superiority, launched a fierce and determined attack on the Anglo-Saxons. The Anglo-Saxon forces fought with immense courage, but the Vikings, possessing strong combat experience and strategic prowess, continued to deliver blows. Although the Anglo-Saxons were forced to retreat and lose some positions, they did not lose their resolve. This battle was an important lesson for them, helping them improve their tactics and prepare for future conflicts. The Battle of Eaching clearly demonstrated that the Anglo-Saxons had the ability to withstand the Vikings, despite the enemy's numerical superiority. This event was a source of great inspiration for the Anglo-Saxons, lifting their spirits and emphasizing their determination to continue the fight for their own independence and freedom from external invaders. Let's discuss several key figures whose actions had a significant impact on the events of the year 871 in England. During the years of England's unification, King Ethelred of Wessex played an important role in the process of uniting the disparate Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. After a series of battles with the Danish Vikings in the year 871, he emerged as one of the key figures in the struggle for unity and stability on the island. Ethelred was a shrewd ruler who sought to strengthen his kingdom and unite other Anglo-Saxon territories under his control. He used his diplomatic and military skills to achieve this goal, forming alliances with other kings and leaders and leading successful campaigns against the Vikings. King Ethelred also proved himself as a great organizer and leader, capable of mobilizing his subjects to resist external threats. His determination and resilience were important factors in maintaining the independence of the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms and laying the groundwork for the future unified England. Although the process of unification took many years and involved numerous battles and political intrigues, King Ethelred remained true to his mission and played a significant role in creating the foundation for the future unified English state. In the same years, during the period of England's unification, Alfred the Great, the brother of King Ethelred of Wessex, played a key role in this process. Initially not inheriting the throne, he made a significant contribution to the struggle for survival and the unification of the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. Alfred was not only a warrior, but also a strategist and scholar. His strategic genius and military experience helped him successfully resist the Vikings and ensure the defense of his land. He created a defensive system known as burhs, fortresses and fortified towns that protected the population from Viking raids. He also actively supported alliances with other Anglo-Saxon kings, seeking agreement and mutual assistance in the fight against the common enemy. Thanks to his reforms and efforts, the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms began to come to mutual agreements and arrangements for mutual aid. However, Alfred's contribution to the unification of England extends far beyond the realm of military action. He made a significant contribution to the development of education and culture in his kingdom, promoting the spread of knowledge and education among his subjects. His reforms in administration and legislation also played an important role in strengthening the statehood and unity of England. Thus, Alfred the Great was not only a great warrior, but also a wise ruler whose influence on the Unificat Iron of England extends to many aspects of society. His determination, intellect, and leadership qualities made him an integral part of the history of the formation of the English nation. Guthrum, the Viking leader, played a significant role in the process of England's unification. Although his influence was more negative than positive, his attacks on the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms led to destruction, discord, and hardships for the local population. However, these assaults also led to the necessity of uniting the Anglo-Saxons to resist the external enemy. Guthrum was known for his cruelty and ruthlessness, and his wars left numerous traces of devastation on Anglo-Saxon lands. This forced Anglo-Saxon kings and leaders to look at the bigger picture and begin acting together against the Vikings. Thus, Guthrum's impact on the unification of England can be seen as a catalyst that compelled the Anglo-Saxons to overcome their internal disagreements and differences in favor of a common resistance to the external enemy. His wars served as a catalyst for the formation of a more unified and organized Anglo-Saxon defense, which ultimately contributed to the process of creating a unified English nation. After the year 871, a long and complex era began in the history of England, which included both wars and periods of peace, political intrigues, alliances, and divisions. During this period, a significant event was the Battle of Edington in the year 878, where King Alfred the Great achieved victory over the Vikings and concluded a peaceful treaty with Guthrum. Afterwards, thanks to the reforms and strengthening of state power carried out by Alfred and his successors, a gradual unification of the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms under a single rule began. An important stage in this process was the reign of Edward II, who is considered the first king to unite most of England under his authoritative control. Later, in the 10th and 11th centuries, during the reign of King Sienna the Great, England became part of the vast Scandinavian Empire for the first time. However, after the death of Sienna the Great and the uprising of the Anglo-Saxon dynasty, King Edward the Confessor regained control of England for the Anglo-Saxons. Thus, it can be said that the unification of England in the 9th century began as a response to the threat from the Vikings and required wisdom and determination from the Anglo-Saxon rulers. This process was not quick or easy, but it laid the foundation for a future unified kingdom, which became a symbol of power and greatness in the centuries to come.